And this is Atari Retro 8-bit, and it is time for the final part. It's part 4. Secret Diary of Adrian Mole. From level 9 in Zayak. It's from the 1980s. Based on a TV series from the 1980s. So, Thursday, October 1st, a telegram addressed to me, the BBC. No, from my mother. Adrian, stop coming home. Stop. What does she mean, stop coming home? How can I stop coming home? I live here. Friday, October 2nd. My mother has just turned up with no warning. She had all her suitcases with her. I am now trying to work out how I feel over my mother's return. On the whole, I'm over the moon, but I am dreading her looking around our squalid house. She will go mad when she finds out that I have lent Pandora her fox fur coat. Saturday, October 3rd, my mother and father were still in bed when I left this morning. Sunday, October 4th, my mother has had a letter from Creep Lucas. Inside he had written, Paulie, have you got the dry cleaning ticket for my best suit? Sketchleys are being very difficult. My father rang Sheffield and ordered Lucas to cease communications, or risk getting a bit of Sheffield steel between his porky shoulder blades. Monday, October 5th, score 40%. I am loved by 2 women. Barbara Boyer gave Victoria Louise Thompson a note in science. It says, ask Adrian Mole if he wants to go out with me. Victoria Louise Thompson, hereinafter known as LVT, passed on the message. Choose one of the following. Reply in the affirmative, reply in the negative, or say nothing and wink at Barbara. Say nothing. Hereinafter known as BB. Tuesday, October 6th. I ate my dinner sitting next to BB. She is a truly wonderful girl. She pointed out that Pandora has got a lot of faults. I'm forced to agree with her. Wednesday, October 7th. I'm committing non-sexual adultery with Barbara. I am at the centre of an eternal triangle. I shall burst if I don't tell someone. Tell Bert Baxter, tell Pandora about Barbara, tell my best friend Nigel, but swear him to secrecy. Thursday, October 8th. Nigel blabbed about me and BB all over the school. Pandora spent the afternoon in Matron's office. Friday, October 9th. I'm glad that we do not live near a military base. At least our home will not be demolished to make a free fire zone. Saturday, October 10th. I have had a spiritual awakening. 2 nice men with staring eyes called at the house while my parents were out. They were from a religious group called the Sunshine People. There are thousands of Sunshine People in every country working for peace. They knew instantly that I was an intellectual and said that my talents are being wasted by society. This is true. No one appreciates my true worth. The Sunshine People left me some religious leaflets and a personality profile to show where my true skills lie. They will be back in a week to give advice on personal development. The advice is free because by helping me they help to make the world a little bit better. Oh, sounds a lot like something that begins with S. Throw the religious leaflets away. Read the Sunshine People leaflets or tell my parents. What I do? Bing! Barbara has ended our brief affair. I rang her up at the pet shop where she works part-time cleaning the cages out. She said she couldn't bear to see the pain in Pandora's eyes. I have learnt an important lesson. Because of lust, I am without love. Had a shave to cheer myself up. Sunday, October 11th. Read the Sunshine personality profile. It has 90 multiple choice questions about my attitudes, abilities and beliefs. Looks interesting. Fill it in properly, make up the answers or throw it away. 3. Monday, October 12th. Score 41%. Grandma's Christmas card arrived. In October. Tuesday, October 13th. I think it's very brave of our school to attempt a modern classic of the theatre. It is not every comprehensive that would have the nerve to do a free adaptation of The Cherry Orchard by Anton Chekhov. Pandora is auditioning today. Audition 2, offer to work backstage or have nothing to do with it. It may not be as glamorous as treading the boards, but I have some great ideas about scenery. Decide to feature subdued good taste. Use lots of foliage. Decide on an abstract motif of cherries. Against a plain background, it will be dead modern. Red balloons will make good cherries. Wednesday, October 14th, the dog is at the vet's again. It ate our Christmas cake, candles, plastic snowmen and all. Thursday, October 15th, Barry Kent told Miss Elf to get stuffed in geography today, so she sent him to Mr. Scruton to be punished. I hope he gets 50 lashes. Friday, October 16th, the Sunshine People returned, but I hid when they rang the doorbell. Monday, October 19th, score 42%. Just got home exhausted, faint from inflating red balloons, cherries to go round the stage. Tuesday, October 20th, blown up more balloons, tied them round the stage. The effect looks Brillo pad from where the audience sits. School play tonight. Wednesday, October 21st, the play was dead good. Pandora was brilliant as the female lead, and even Nigel, first cherry tree, said his lines properly. Even the audience laughed in the right places. Then the cast came on, one at a time, to be clapped. Nigel was second and tripped over his costume as he entered, landing on the scenery. It was great. Some balloons burst, the rest escaped into the audience, who hit them back into the air. Everyone enjoyed themselves except Nigel, who was as red as the balloons. Haha. Thursday, October 22nd, roadworks at the Watford Gap. I hope the Russians don't attack until the work is finished. Cruise missiles are complete sitting ducks if there's a 5-mile tailback on the way to their launching sites. Friday, October 23rd, saw the Sunshine People in the main shopping centre. They are handing out flowers and peace leaflets. Pass by on the other side, go over and talk to them, or telephone the police to complain. We got Monday, October 26th, bank holiday in the Republic of Ireland. Score 43%. Pandora has suggested I start a literary magazine using the school duplicator. I wrote the first edition during dinner time. It's called The Voice of Youth. Tuesday, October 27th, Pandora looked at The Voice of Youth. She suggested that instead of writing the whole thing myself, I invite contributions from other talented scribblers. Reject this argument, persuade Pandora that she is wrong, or agree reluctantly. Neil Kinnock is not afraid to take ideas from others. Why should I be? Wednesday, October 28th, the magazine is going well. Pandora is doing a piece about window box gardening. Claire Nielsen has submitted a new punk poem. Society is puke, soiled vomit. On the Union Jack, Sid was vicious, Johnny's rotten, dead, dead, dead. And so on at considerable length. It's very avant-garde, but I am not afraid to break new ground. She wants it put under an assumed name. Her father is a Conservative councillor. Nigel has written a short piece on racing bike maintenance. It is very boring, but I can't tell him because he is my best friend. Thursday, October 29th, the magazine goes to press in a week. Pandora is typing the stencils. Here's my first editorial. Hi kids. Here is your very own magazine. Yes, written and produced entirely using child labour. I have tried to break new ground in our first edition. Many of you will be unaware of the miracles of window box gardening and the joys of racing bike maintenance. If so, hang on to your hats. You're in for a magic surprise. We are going to charge 25 pence a copy. Friday, October 30th. Nigel's just gone off in a sulk. He objected to the editing I did on his article. I tried to point out that 2,000 words on bicycle spokes was pure self-indulgence, but he wouldn't listen. He has withdrawn his article, thank God, 2 less pages to fold. Halloween, no entry. So back in the 1980s Halloween, going out with a white sheet with a couple of holes cut out for the eyes, you know. I can remember doing that. Monday, November 2nd, score 44%, gone up a bit. Tuesday, November 3rd, Election Day, USA. No entry, no entry, until Saturday, November 7th. I asked Pandora to marry me this morning. We were leaning over the frozen food cabinet at the co-op at the time. Pandora said, Adrian, don't distract me. I'm looking for bargain buys. I was astonished at her lack of romance. When we got to the checkout, I repeated my proposal, but Pandora snapped, "Don't be ridiculous, I'm only 14. The cashier said I wouldn't marry at any age, my love. Men are nothing but beasts. I gave the woman an insolent look, but she was counting change, so she missed it. Pandora told me off for showing her up and made me carry the heavy shopping bag. My arm was nearly out of its socket by the time we got back to her house. Sunday, November 8th. Remembrance Sunday. Pandora is fed up with going out with me. She thinks I'm getting too serious. I was heartbroken to hear this revelation. Does it mean she is no longer insanely in love with me? I need advice. What shall I do? Tell Bert my problem, ask my father how to manage women, ask my mother for advice. He says, why are you asking me? You know your mother is completely unmanageable. Let Pandora know who's master. Tell Bert my problem. Show my loyalty by waiting outside Pandora's house. I tell Bert it's my problem over tea at his and Queenie's bungalow. Bert says the way to manage women is to let them know who's master. To prove it, he shouted at Queenie and ordered her to open a bottle of beer. She replied, "Do it yourself, you lazy lump." Bert blushed and hid his face in Saber's fur. Queenie said, "Play hard to get, Adrian. Pandora will soon come running." Take Queenie's advice. Let Pandora know who's master, or take my mother's advice. Monday, November 9th, score 46%. I don't call for Pandora on the way to school or sit next to her at school dinners, but I can't say that she has noticed. Tuesday, November 10th, after a Pandora-Less day at school, the breakthrough came. I was watching Crossroads. Crossroads? So 1980s. The TV series called Crossroads. It was a soap opera based around a hotel. Might be able to have a slight distraction here and just put in TV series Crossroads. Brings some information up on this. Maybe. What we got here, Crossroads British TV series. It was a soap opera, yeah. It was also known as Crossroads Motel and Crossroads King's Oak. British television soap opera. It ran on ITV over two periods. The original 1964 to 1988 run. It was followed by a short revival from 2001 to 2003. Set in a fictional hotel in the revival. In the Midlands, Crossroads became a byword for cheap production values, particularly in the 1970s, early 1980s. Despite this, the series regularly attracted huge audiences during this time, some of the ratings as high as 15 million viewers. So as a quick distraction there. I was watching Crossroads when she telephoned and asked to speak to me. I instructed my mother to tell Pandora that I was out at a wild disco. My mother said at 6:30 in the evening. My mother refused to lie for me. That's it. The next time she asks me to tell the milkman she is out when she's hiding behind the kitchen door, I shall refuse. Wednesday, November 11th. We are together again, but there are conditions. I'm not allowed to mention marriage or getting engaged or write Mrs. Pandora Mole on the inside of my geography homework book. I have promised, but it doesn't stop me hoping. Thursday, November 12th, I'm thinking of writing an expose about Barry Kent for the Voice of Youth. Decide against it, go ahead. Advertise it on the cover, but leave all the details for a later issue. Go ahead. Friday, November 13th, finish the expose on Barry Kent. It will rock the school to its foundations. I've exposed Barry Kent's sexual perversions, all about his disgusting practice of showing his thing for 5 pence a look. Saturday, November 14th, the council have planted Lelandai fir trees in Elm Tree Avenue. Monday, November 16th, score 46%. Pandora and I were put a paper to bed, how I wish I were putting Pandora to bed. Tuesday, November 17th, The Voice of Youth hits the classrooms tomorrow. Wednesday, November 18th. We have been hit by a wildcat strike. Mrs. Claire Coates, the school secretary, has refused to handle The Voice of Youth. She says there is nothing in her job description to say that she has to mess about with school magazines. Complain to the headmaster. Offer on behalf of the editorial team to duplicate copies ourselves, or say please. Mrs. Claire Coates smiles but insists that she really doesn't have enough time. Bribe Mrs. Claire Coates with the offer of a written credit. Ask to borrow the instruction manual for the duplicator machine. Offer on behalf of the editorial team to duplicate copies ourselves. Written credit. The Voice of Youth. I know I would want my name in print if I were her, but she's not interested. Visit Printer Press, my friendly neighbourhood high street copy shop. Complain to the headmaster. Look for someone else who can use the duplicator. Visit Printer Press. It's dead posh with comfy chairs and real coffee. Printer Press can photocopy 500 magazines for £200 or print them for £159. Gulp. Get Printer Press to do The Voice of Youth anyway. Give up. Printing is too expensive. Or visit A&M Letho, a small local printer. It is dead scruffy and everyone looks like punks, but they are quite keen to print my magazine. It will cost £71. So give up, printing is too expensive. Get A&M Letho to print the magazine, or ask Pandora's father to use his firm's photocopier. Thursday, November 19th. Pandora's father is photocopying The Voice of Youth on his office machine. He didn't want to, but Pandora sulked in her room and refused to eat until he agreed. Friday, November 20th. 500 copies of The Voice of Youth were on sale in the dinner hall today. 500 copies were locked in the games cupboard by the end of the afternoon. Not one copy was sold. Not one. My fellow pupils are nothing but Philistines and morons. We are dropping the price to 20 pence. Saturday, November 21st, Radio 4 play about nuclear war. Pandora and I agree that it is a bad thing. This was the 1980s, the time of the Cold War. Threads on the Take TV. Threads and the movie The Day After. And that movie Miracle Mile with the Tangerine Dream soundtrack, can't forget that one. Monday, November 23rd, the score 48%, it's gone up a bit. School was dead good today. My English essay Despair got 20 out of 20 and was read out to the class. Everyone looked dead miserable by the end. Pandora's eyes were full of tears. I think I would like to be a full-time writer. It must be a dead cushy job just sitting around writing essays. I've sent Despair to the BBC. It is a story about a hamster with an incurable illness. It's just the sort of thing Radio 4 likes. Tuesday, November 24th, sold one copy of The Voice of Youth to Barry Kent. He wanted to discover if we had said anything about him. He is a slow reader, so it will probably take him a week to find out. We are going to try dropping the price to 15 pence to stimulate demand. There are now 499 copies to be sold. No entries. Monday, November 30th. Score 48%. Tuesday, December 1st, no entry. Wednesday, December 2nd, lay awake for ages thinking about God, life, death and Pandora. Thursday, December 3rd, 7:30 a.m, just woke up to find chin covered in spots. How can I face Pandora? Avoided Pandora all day, but she caught up with me in school dinners. I tried to eat with my hand over my chin, but it proved very difficult. She said my disability made no difference to our love, but I can't help thinking that her kisses lacked their usual passion, as we were saying goodnight after youth club. Saturday, December 5th, repeats of last year's Christmas specials on all 4 channels. Monday, December 7th, score 48%. Who really buys these little plastic ponies dressed in nighties and party frocks? Tuesday, December 8th. brought 483 copies of The Voice of Youth home in my satchel and Adidas bag. Adidas bags. I remember having one of those in the 1980s as well. Mr. Jones needs the games cupboard. Wednesday, December 9th, the railways are having their annual strike this week. Some things never change. Friday, December the 11th, Saturday, December 12th. I've once again turned to great literature for the solace. It's no surprise to me that intellectuals commit suicide, go mad or die from drink. We feel things more than other people. We know that the world is rotten and that chins are ruined by spots. Monday, December 14th, scored 48%. Tuesday, December 15th, Wednesday, December 16th, heard my father say goodnight to the car, he's cracking up. Thursday, December 17th, first cold day. I warned my father to check the boiler, but would he listen? We will all expire from hypothermia. Saturday, December 19th, Nigel brought his records round. He is into punk, but I don't see the point if you can't hear the words. Monday, December 21st, scored 48%. Mr. Hill was called away in the middle of a science lesson. By the time he got back, Barry Kent and Squelchy Townsend had converted the Bunsen burners into water fountains. Tuesday, December 22nd, Nigel stuck a wooden blackboard eraser to the ceiling at the front of our classroom. It fell down a few minutes later onto Mr. Dock. Wednesday, December 23rd, Thursday, December 24th, Christmas Eve. Go to Woolworths. Do you remember Woolworths? Oh yes, can you remember Woolworths? Back in the 1980s, I would spend many a Saturday morning in there buying some vinyl singles with pocket money. Whatever music I was into at the time. Some of the stuff in the top 40 charts. And Woolworths to buy Pandora's present, channel number 5. They haven't got any. What should I do? Buy her an underarm deodorant, buy her false eyelashes, or a pair of knickers. Go out carol singing with Pandora. It's the only way we can raise any finance to see the pantomime, etc. Go to Elm Tree Avenue, go to Corporation Row, or head for the Black Bull. But the suburban houses are a dead loss. Some people are out, most pretend to be out, and the rest shout, come back on Christmas Day without even opening the door. Friday, December 25th, Christmas Day. Got up at 5 a.m. to have a ride on my new racing bike. My parents had severe hangovers, so I took them breakfast in bed and gave them my presents at the same time. My mother was over the moon with her egg timer, and everything was going okay until I casually mentioned that Bert and Queenie were my guests for the day, and would my father mind getting out of bed and picking them up in his car. The row went on until the lousy Sugdens arrived, looking as if they were at a funeral. I can't believe that my mother is related to them. They refused to drink and had a cup of tea instead. I went up to the bathroom and found my mother crying and running the turkey under the hot tap. She said the bloody thing won't thaw out, Adrian. Put the shower attachment inside and leave the tap running for an hour. Forget about it, have a takeaway instead. Or just bung it in the oven. This seems to work okay. Though I must admit the turkey was even more tasteless than usual. It was only half an hour late. By then my father was too drunk to eat anything. The Sugdens enjoyed the Queen's speech, but little else seems to please them. Grandma Sugden gives me a book called Bible Stories for Boys. What shall I do? Ask how it compares with the original. Tell her I've lost my faith, or say thank you and wear a false smile. Saturday, December 26th, Boxing Day. Went out on my bike. When I got back, my mother was still in bed and my father was arguing with Grandad Sugden about our dog's behaviour, so I went for another ride. I put on my new suede jacket and corduroy trousers and called for Pandora. She gave me a bottle of aftershave for my Christmas present. It was a proud moment. It signified the end of childhood. Pandora looked puzzled when she unwrapped the deodorant, but she gave a little smile and promised to use it always. Sunday, December 27th. The Sugdens have gone back to Norfolk, thank God. The house is back to its usual mess. My parents took a bottle of vodka to bed with them last night. I haven't seen them since. Went to Melbury on my bike, did it on 5 hours. Monday, December 28th, I scored 50%. I'm in trouble for leaving my bike outside last night. My parents are not speaking to me. I don't care. I've just had a shave and I feel magic. Tuesday, December 29th, all the drink's been drunk. My father's gone round to Pandora's house to borrow a bottle of spirits. Wednesday, December 30th, the dog has pulled the Christmas tree down and has made all the pine needles stick in the shag pile. Thursday, December 31st, New Year's Eve, the last day of the year. A lot has happened. I've fallen in love, been a one-parent child, gone intellectual, and had many letters from the BBC. Not bad for a 14 3/4-year-old. Pandora and I saw the new year in together. We had a dead passionate session accompanied by Andy Stewart and a bagpiper. My father came crashing through the front door at 1 a.m. carrying a lump of coal, drunk as usual. My mother started going on about what a wonderful son I was and how much she loved me. It's a pity she never says anything like that when she is sober. So we've covered an entire year here over these 4 parts. I score 50%. The game is over, unless you'd like to play the final part again. Secret Diary of Adrian Mole. Finale. TV series from the 1980s. So I might as well finish by putting this into the search engine. As I did with Crossroads. So probably find it on here. The Atari 8-bit game was based on Secret Diary of Adrian Mole. Aged 13 3/4 is a British television series based on the book of the same name written by Sue Townsend. It began in 1985. Blah 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 blah. Comedy drama it was. 1 series, 6 episodes. On ITV, original release was the 16th of September through the 21st of October 1985. It was followed by The Growing Pains of Adrian Mole. Adrian Mole, the main character of the series. George Mole, Adrian's father. Pauline Mole, Adrian's mother. May, Grandma Mole. The other characters, Bert Baxter, Queenie Baxter, Pandora Braithwaite, Tanya Braithwaite, Ivan Braithwaite, Nigel Partridge, Barry Kent, the bully, Mr. Creep Lucas, Doreen Stick Insect Slater, Maxwell House Slater, Dr. Gray, there it is, the episodes. The pilot episode. It aired date on the 16th of September 1985. So it ran through 6 episodes. Charles and Diana's wedding happened during this. The series was mainly filmed on location in the Braunstone and South Wixton areas of Leicester. The Mole's house and street were actually filmed in Ludlow Close, South Harrow, and Adrian's school scenes at Neil Armstrong Comprehensive were all filmed at Hammersmith School in West London. Whilst being set in Leicester, which is in the East Midlands, some of the characters speak with a distinct West Midlands accent, e.g. Birmingham, Coventry, etc. And there it is. So that concludes Secret Diary of Adrian Mole, and see you next time.